friends, this is Valentina, also known as Self-Rescuing Princess on Instagram. I've been performing and teaching chains all over the world for about a decade now, using almost every possible rigging configuration. And whenever I teach workshops, I always get the same question about buying chains about a dozen times a year. And the answer is always going to be different, depending on who you are as an aerialist and what you'd like to achieve. So I decided to put together this short video that hopefully takes into account most individual preferences and circumstances, depending on where you live and what you'd like to do, what kind of tricks you like to do, what kind of performances and acts you like to create. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the options that are available to you. My personal preference and bias is 316 lifting stainless steel chain. It's overhead lifting approved for anywhere in the world. You don't ever have to worry about being turned down for a performance. But we'll also talk about beginner to intermediate options and how to make them work. None of them are exactly perfect, but there is a way, there's some hacks that I'm going to share with you that will hopefully be helpful. We'll touch on galvanized versus not very briefly, and we'll talk about length, thickness, rigging configurations, other considerations you may want to think about. And we'll talk about personal protection gear depending on the kind of tricks that you'd like to attempt. So, with that being said, let's dive in. Starting with my personal preference, overhead lifting stainless steel chain. Little known fact on quality of chains, although they come with all sorts of technical specifications on breaking strength and so on and so forth. In a few countries that regulate aerial arts, USA isn't one of them, by the way, only one thing really matters. Are they overhead lifting approved? Meaning grade 80 or above. If they're not, some stricter venues in a handful of countries may not let you get on stage with your chains. When you look at grade 80 and overhead lifting options, you will notice that most of them, with exception of stainless steel, are just not aesthetically pleasing. Aesthetic appeal as well as quality is why I prefer European or American-made stainless steel. My personal favorite that I've been performing with for almost a decade is PWAG 316 lifting chain, not a paid endorsement by the way, although they let me mention them in this video. Every link is perfection, as you can see, and that is super important if you're doing dynamics or multi-directional drops. If there's any twist in the chain, it will untwist on the way down and take some of your skin or flesh with it, which can be highly unpleasant. These will run you about $1,000 for 2 loops, 9 to 10 feet long. This is early 2025 numbers. Tariffs not considered. So if you're in the United States, you would probably want to buy American. If you're in Europe, you would probably want to stick to European made. A side benefit is that if you forgot your chain paperwork, every chain is stamped with a manufacturer's stamp that says the name of the manufacturer as well as the grade of chain. So any qualified rigger would just look at the stamp and say, yeah, you're fine, you're good to go. A few more side benefits. They're super smooth, so you can do drops like these, that like you see me do, and not lose any hair. You don't have to worry about losing parts of your costume on the way down. They're also hypoallergenic, somewhat hypoallergenic, not completely, so people who have nickel allergies are much less likely to react because the nickel content is minimal. Chinese stainless steel are usually a third of the price, but the quality is not the same, so I suggest feeling out each link with your hands and hanging them if you can, if they will let you do that, to see if there's any twist in the chain, and pick the section that has no twist in it. For 5 to 10 times cheaper, you can get grade 70 transportation chain. I personally wouldn't recommend going below that grade, although I've seen people perform with as low as grade 30. I do not endorse that, but that's a personal risk assessment choice. I would recommend going to construction stores versus your home improvement stores, simply because you'd get a much better deal for a higher quality product, especially if they have contractor discounts. Some offer aerialist or rigger discounts. Don't be shy, ask. These stores would usually let you hang a section of the chain to check for anything like twisting or imperfections. So again, ask about that. And if you notice snags or other imperfections, which are quite common in lower grade chains, instead of trying to fix them yourself, filing away, ask the distributor if they would be willing to polish them for you with a vibratory tumbler. Many of them can offer that service, and you will get a far better result for a reasonable fee. If you are a contortionist or an exotic chain performer, then galvanized may be a great option for you, since you won't need additional grip aids and you can hold a pose effortlessly because of extra traction. But if you're ever considering doing drops or slides, do not get galvanized, because as I said earlier, the chain will most definitely skin you on the way down, especially if it's more than one rotation. Whenever I teach workshops, I usually bring 3 sets of my chains that are all the same grade by different length and thickness, so that people can have a visceral experience with dynamic, static, and spinning forces. In general, for women, I recommend 5/16 width. That allows most of us to grab the chain the way that you would typically grab straps. 3/8 may be more comfortable for men, but it's usually too thick for women. I use 5/16 for doing loops and silk style rigging configurations. With that thickness, they feel similar to my strap loops or thin silks. And I use 3/8 for vertical chains, Spanish web, tension chains, and cloud swing. It feels similar to rope, and most rope style moves translate pretty well. The first question you always need to ask yourself when doing chains is, am I going to give myself a concussion? It's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get my point. And then first and foremost, make a plan to protect your head. Even on simple beginner moves, when you first train by yourself, I always recommend at least a soft MMA style helmet until you learn how the chain behaves, learn how to protect your face from a whipping chain. Very much like in boxing, learning to dodge the chain is lesson number 1. And then frankly, it doesn't stop. So when you get to advanced level and start doing release and catch, front flips and back flips and pirouettes, I always recommend dusting off that helmet. Good trapeze boots are always super helpful. Pole gloves or rosin are great for grip. For release and catch moves, I recommend either football receiver gloves, which are thin but excellent grip, or rock climbing rappelling gloves. A little less grip but much thicker so that you can do more than 2 pirouettes in a session. For roll-ups and other core-intensive moves, I recommend a combination of neoprene and sticky pole wear. Neoprene by itself is usually fine, but if it's got excessive print or other decorative details, it can be too slick sometimes for chains, and then you'll just slide in place instead of rolling up, which can be terribly frustrating. For armpit protection, for dynamic moves like this, I recommend either a leather jacket or additional layers sewn right into your garment, right at the armpit level. That's all for now. Best of luck buying your first set of chains, and welcome to a very, very small club. Also, if you have any other questions about risk management or avoiding injuries, please reach out. I'm here to save you some pain. Thank you.